Well, hello and a very warm welcome back to the TNC podcast following the record-breaking Norwich City 7 consecutive home defeats. Well done to all involved. Chris, hello.
Hello.
We got it right. We said we'd lose. We could end it here. We're going to lose on Wednesday. We're going to lose on Saturday.
I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. I want this to automatically click and Liam Manning takes us to the Premier League. But that's not going to happen, obviously.
We are in a really, really sorry state now.
Yeah, and... yeah.
Straight into the hard stuff.
Well, no.
Anything to plug?
No. No, I don't even want to plug anything anymore.
Kellen's on the calendar. That's a good thing.
Kellen's on the calendar. That could be a good sign. George Long is not on the calendar this month. What are we going to cover today, Jack? Let's try to do this in order first, because I want the Norwich fans to know we're going to try and cover everything as much as we can.
Defeat to Hull.
Yes.
Shane Duffy not being the saviour. Jeffrey Schlapinio. When will Napper and Manning get sacked? Basically, previous to every other podcast, Liam Manning walking straight down the tunnel. Liam Manning basically wanting himself sacked.
Yeah.
Protesting. 2 fixtures before the international break. And a question list that look pretty grim.
So, if you haven't already, just turn off now. Stop watching. Yeah. Stop watching. Save the time. That's what we're talking about.
Hull,
let's try and do Hull first. I mean, it was a real Halloween horror show, wasn't it? It was the script that we've seen in every single home game this season.
Well, and also you can add the away games to it now. I thought it was the absolute replica of Swansea. It was picture perfect compared to the Derby game. It was the Derby game.
We started.
It was
brightly. The first half, we knocked on the door, huffed and puffed. Few really good chances. I think there was probably, in my 3 chances that were good, the 2 chances that weren't as good were Oscar's, and Jeff Schlup's kind of worked it for himself. Sarge's one is on a plate, and that says it all for where we're at. And by the way, I'm not bashing Sarge because he, at the minute, gets 1 chance every 3 games. It was brilliant from Big Mac, Jovan McCarma to win the ball back. That was the fight, the spirit, the endeavour that we needed. And then gets it into the box, puts it on a silver plate and on a silver platter, and the fact that Sarge blasts it over from there just sums up where Norwich are at. But after that, Jack, it was the same story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I credit to the fans because look, there was talk of protests before the game, and I think the Atanasio chat probably diffused a lot of the anger, and there was a kind of willingness to maybe give this a little bit more of a chance. And as you say, for the first 20 minutes, we looked bright and we created chances, and Hull were really poor. I think we need to add that into the mix as well.
Yeah.
So that meant the whole
team.
tennis ball protest didn't really happen, because at 19 minutes and 2 seconds, I think we had a corner at that point.
I mean, what a balls up that was, by the way. 4 tennis balls. And, I mean,
look,
it's just embarrassing.
It is what it is, right? We started brightly, but we didn't score. We should have scored. We had 2.5 XG. We had more shots than Hull.
I'm sorry. Stick your XG up your arse. Don't come on this podcast today and talk to me about that. Seriously, that's your final warning. If not, I'll cut the camera. Okay. I can't do it today.
Okay, sorry.
I'm very angry today. Do not talk about XG.
And you know, the most saddening thing, and it's almost laughable now. As always, go down to the concourse at half time, have a quick pint, chat with my mates. What's going on? We all said we're going to lose.
Wash your bets on when we're going to concede.
We're going to lose.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a good one, mate. It was like a, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Well,
and,
good. Well done. Right,
and it was almost, not only did we lose, but we lost in the way that we knew we were going to lose.
Yeah.
Right? 45 minutes to 60 minutes, I think we basically conceded in it. Pretty much every game in that. I don't know what Manning is saying in that.
Well, he's not saying anything. Well, he's not. Well, he's not saying anything. Well, he's not saying anything because we found that out in his post-match this time, which we are going to get stuck into, Jack. We found out that he doesn't talk much about the first half. That's what he said himself. Do you know what I think summed up the game in Norwich City situation, Jack? And I try my best not to single out players, But the moment that Duffy,
Oh,
the ball gets in behind, Duffy's in a foot race with the attacker, and all he has to do, 101 defending, just stick it, just literally just pump it into the south stand, just pass it, do anything to just put it out into the south stand, but decides to play it back to Vlad, weak pass, underhit pass, and then literally just collapses and lays on his back looking at the sun.
I mean, that picture is a beautiful.
Well, it's not beautiful.
It's a beautiful rendition of this season.
Yeah.
Defence, one defender, laid on the floor, looking up to the sky, probably thinking about his next pint, right? And Vladan Kovacevic in absolute no man's land, and thankfully he pulled off a good save.
Vlad did incredibly well there.
A quick word on Shane Duffy. Obviously wasn't ever going to be the saviour, isn't the saviour. Hopefully we can kind of get past that point now and go back to... But, fair play. We all had a bit of Kyle Lafferty syndrome. I don't know who will be next. Maybe it's Anis Ben Slimane when he's back from injury. Maybe he's going to be the creative outlet that we so desperately need. We had the chances in the first half. And to be fair to Liam Manning, he can't... it's not his fault that we missed so many chances. He got that team into good areas.
It is yes, but he is accountable for the amount of chances that we create, and he is accountable for our second half performances.
No. So I'm just talking solely on the first half.
Right.
We created enough chances.
I get that. No, I would agree with that.
So first half,
yeah,
he gets a pass.
Well,
second half,
yes, no, Jack, because the problem is now I don't think you can anymore look at a game in isolation and go, oh, he gets a pass for the first half.
I'm really.
Do you know what the highlight of this? Do you know what the highlight of this whole conversation so far is? I've praised Jovan Makama for making a tackle.
Chris,
no, it's not funny. It's not funny.
Chris,
this is compounded now. Like, I don't want to be coming on this podcast going, oh, he's got a pass first half. No, he hasn't.
Chris,
because if we don't score at least 2 in the first half, we're dead.
I'm trying to be nice because for the next 45 minutes, I'm not going to be nice.
Yeah, but you can't be nice about this.
Norwich's performance for the first half was adequate. It was, it would pass Ofsted, right? It's satisfactory. Yeah, we're not going to close it down. We'll leave it open. Maybe room for improvement. Maybe requires improvement, but we're not going to shut it down. Second half, right? You burn it down. There's asbestos everywhere, right? There's people doing bad things. That building needs to be burnt down, built over again, and started again.
Just to clarify on this stage, and it is important, by the way, that we add caveats to that. That is an analogy, and that's important to say that given the context around protests. Obviously, we're not condoning anything like that.
Imagine that, me burning Carrow Road down. That would be a bad headline, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
I'm not going to, by the way.
Yes, please.
I can't even start a fire at my own house.
Please don't do stupid stuff. We are actually going to talk about that later on this podcast.
So, first half.
I mean, all over the place. The defence, the midfield.
So this is where I'm starting to lose, just any... No, I had no hope left, but any hope that I did have is now gone. First half, and the reason I'm saying it was relatively adequate is because we created chances and we looked okay. What do we do second half? We changed the shape. We changed the personnel.
I got a positive.
Go on.
And I'm sorry, but we need to reverse to the first half. Jeff Schlupp. Schluppiano Ronaldo, as I called him. Mate, Schluppiano Ronaldo. He was on one in that. Seriously, in that first half, he was brilliant. He was taking players on, getting crosses into the box, almost scored, hit the crossbar, created corners. Honestly, look, credit where credit's due. It's important, Jack, especially with players that we've criticised this season. Jeff Schlupp has been one of them that we've been disappointed with because of his experience. Brilliant first half.
Didn't score, didn't connect the cross.
No. Jeff Schlupp had a really good first half. You're being harsh.
If
Jeff Schlupp had a good first half.
If Lewis Dobbin had have played there, he'd have scored twice.
Well, obviously. But we decided not to sign Lewis Dobbin.
It was rather amusing, wasn't it? That basically every single former Norwich player scored at the weekend as well. Yeah. Murphy, Morris hat-trick, Christoph Zolis.
Yeah.
Did Cody McDonald get a sort of brace for Whittam or something?
Yeah. Jamie Curriton scored.
Second half.
Second half.
I mean, just complete horror show. Absolute horror show.
And then the crowd turned, right? And rightly so, by the way. Certainly it wasn't even just a case of and Connor, the Pinken boys, Radio Norfolk have backed this up. This is now not just a case of, it's the rowdy, as Stuart Webb would say, divorcees in the snake pit, or it's just the Lower Berkeley rabble where we are. It was all four stands, chance of all sorts. We had Adams out, we had Webber out, we had Napper out, we had You're Not Fit to Wear the Shirt. I mean, we probably had more than that I can't remember. There were so many.
And I think,
and this is part of the problem, Jack. There are so many people that seemingly the majority want gone. I don't know where you begin.
Well, you have to begin. You have to make a start.
Sorry, let's do this in order because I went off tangent. Do you want to talk about that whole game anymore?
Not really.
Really? Yeah, but this is the sad state of affairs. What's the point? What is the point in us talking about that performance?
And that's the thing is, I want to come on here and talk about the football.
Of course.
But the football is the same every week, so there's no point covering ground. So we need to discuss what's going on around that and the issues, and that is the pressing fact. And I guess I will talk a small little bit about the match once more. And actually, I think for the first time on Saturday, I looked at that bunch of players for the first time, I think, this season, and went, "You're checked out.
Not convinced.
You are not convinced by your head coach, and actually, you're bored." I saw the Vladan Kovacevic, who's usually fist pumping saves.
You see the body language, yeah.
Shane Duffy just giving up.
You can notice the body language. It doesn't take a brain surgeon.
It was really notable on Saturday.
It doesn't take a brain surgeon. Do you know, Jack? I do believe that. So obviously, it came out in the press that Kenny and Josh had said that they are backing Liam Manning. They believe in him and
that's
his
bollocks.
process and stuff. Okay. Well, let's play along with it, okay?
Okay.
Right? You might think it's bollocks, but let's play along
We'll have a
with
little drama lesson.
Let's play along with it, right? Even if it is those two, I think it might only be those two. Because I think I'm siding with you on this, Jack, because you look at the body language, you even see after the game all of the players on their haunches as if they had been relegated. All of them. I think most of them all were on their haunches, and I almost thought it was almost like a statement of we're fucked. And there was a few statements going on, actually. We're going to get, obviously, a large part of this conversation will be Liam Manning. There was a few statements in that game, really, from the fans, from the players. Liam Manning bringing on Errol Mundle-Smith. Congratulations to him, obviously, on his debut. But that was a statement because he's brought on an academy product over Eurosec. I think that was a bit of a statement to say, look, I've got nothing to play with.
Well, and actually, don't disagree with that decision because Mundle-Smith probably is a better player than Matteo Eurosec.
I can't defend. I can't refute that, Jack. But yeah, so back to your point of have the players given up? I think that might be a bit OTT.
I didn't say given up.
Okay,
I said
sorry.
I think they've checked out. And
they
maybe that is given up.
They don't. Okay, no, but I think it's important that we clarify because obviously in the first half you saw there was a bit about them, but I would agree with you that they don't believe in what they're doing anymore. They don't believe in what they're doing anymore. They certainly don't believe when they go 1-0 down.
Yeah.
We are dead.
And that's the point. Is the smallest of adversity that they collapse and the system goes out of the window, whatever system they were trying to do. Liam Manning's changing things. We've gone from kind of, we're at home, we're looking for goals.
Yes.
The starting 11 is, let's bring in Rory McConville and Shane Duffy. Let's tighten things up. And yes, the system looked okay, but then that changes. And actually, I thought the best bits of the Swansea and the Derby performances were the diagonal balls from Kenny McLean into Jovan McCarmer. Kenny McLean's no longer at left back. All of the things that you kind of go, that might work. Manning then goes,
just change
it.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about Liam Manning because I'm angry with him.
what's our agenda point on Liam Manning
Well,
specifically? Because there's so much you could
So
say, Jack,
Liam Manning, and for me, it's the walking down the tunnel thing. And I know he's apologised, and
Yes, he
that's
has.
important to put out there.
And I'm pleased that he did. Well done, Liam. That was good.
For me, look, he knows it's game over, and we'll get onto that shortly. And you can see straight through that. The players know it's game over.
Yeah.
You can see through that. Liam Manning keeps coming out and talking about processes, behaviours. Fine.
Fight.
Right? Fight. If I'm one of those players, what behaviour do I want to see from my manager, from my head coach, from my leader?
Yeah.
I want to see him facing up to the fans and protecting me a bit.
Why would we face adversity if you don't try? And I'm talking, by the way, about on the pitch, not behind the scenes.
So
obviously.
That for me was and look, Manning for
He knows it was a big mistake. He shouldn't have done it.
but like he did it,
I know.
That for me
that shows.
was the point where I was like, oh Liam, like you're meant to be one of us. Like when a Norwich head coach is here, you know for Bayern you're meant to be one of us. He's a Norfolk boy, right? He gets what it means to be a supporter of this football club, and that for me was him going, I'm done.
Yeah.
And maybe I've read into that too much, but there's no way back from that. And I think this plays into. I thought for the most part the Atanasio chat with Radio Norfolk was good, but for me this now comes back to the point of naivety from the Americans because I think
that was mentioned on the show.
Because I think that they're probably looking at Liam Manning and going, if he wins 3 in the next 5, they'll be back on side. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
We saw it with David Wagner. He went on a run where I don't think he lost in 10.
Yeah.
Once you've lost the fans, done.
Yeah.
Manning has lost the fans.
Well, and also the players. But
I thought it was really saddening because yes, if Manning comes over to the Barclay, he probably antagonises us a bit. But I see that as a good thing.
But hang on. Sorry, mate, but we've got to talk about this, right? I get that, but the other side of the fence is, yes, that's really hard. But actually, again, it's about how you do it.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting him to come within 5 feet. I'm not expecting him. And by the way, this is ridiculous that we're even freaking talking about this, right? But what he could have done, he could have come beyond the halfway line just a little bit. He could have literally just clapped each of the stands, yeah? Or he could have clapped the stand and gone like that, just to say, look, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Just go like, I'm sorry.
Or...
And obviously people would have sworn at him, people would have given him abuse, but as the leader of the pack, you clap, and if it's been a bad game, you say, look, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I wanted you to enjoy this. And I think if the fans see that the manager knows, do you know what I mean? Am I talking about...
No,
let me know, Yellow. If I'm talking shit, tell me, right? But I think if he just sort of went, look, I'm really sorry, like that, as a fan, you would see the human side of it, and you could still want him out, but you wouldn't think that he's in La La Land with it. You'd be like, well, do you know what? Fair play. At least he knows it's shit.
Well, or you don't suddenly buy into his football because he's faced the music, but you do buy into him as a person and as a leader.
Yeah.
And I don't even want him to apologise. I just want him to.
No, no, he needed to after that. He needed to.
No, as in, I don't want him to come out and go, I'm really sorry to the crowd. I just want him to listen. I want him to face it.
I think he does need to. I think he does. I think he should be. It's at the stage, Jack, where after losing 7 home games, yes, he should be apologising to all 4 stands.
I thought it was rude.
Yes.
I thought it was audacious, and you know what? I think it's unforgivable.
But I think it's extremely hypocritical. Linked back to your point about what he talks about, and I said this on Canary Call after the game. You talk about behaviours. You have to show.
Bang on.
You have to show them yourself.
Yeah.
You have to show them yourself.
And that's the point. If I'm Oscar Schwarzer, right, and I've come out and I'm clapping the Barclay, that collective is getting a huge amount of stick, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But
you talk about that
Oscar's
player,
not done anything wrong.
And you talk about that player, Jack. We're talking about a 19-year-old kid here.
Yeah. I just thought,
I think that it's not that much. Look, it's not that much of a big deal.
No, it is.
Okay,
no, it is a big deal.
No, Jack. But what I mean is,
it is an optics thing.
No, yes, correct.
It is a big deal.
I know, but what I mean. No, I know, but hear me out. Like, obviously, we just win football matches, right? We don't really care that much about. Yeah, maybe it is a big deal. I don't know.
And you know why?
I'm trying to defend Liam because I want to. I've got on with him and I really wanted this to work for him, but it is not worked.
And you know why it's a big deal now is because we are now in a position in terms of league position and in terms of we are in I'm really trying not to swear because I've done too much swearing.
I'm trying not to as well.
We are in a huge fight, a battle. And you almost now need to go beyond the football. You need to create, like David Wagner did, a siege mentality.
Yeah, all right.
It's us against them.
Yeah.
Well, actually, now it's us against the team, against the manager.
Well, everyone's against each other. Right. This is what I was going to say.
And this, if you're Sheffield Wednesday, if you're Oxford, if you're Portsmouth, if you're Blackburn, who, by the way, other than Sheffield Wednesday, are clear of us, you're looking at us and going, we've got you.
Of course.
You might have better quality players, but we have got far more heart, far more fight, and far more togetherness than you.
Yes.
And we will go to, Oxford or whoever, and they will beat us, and they will know that they will beat us.
Yes.
For me, we reached that point, we needed change post Ipswich. That didn't happen. We knew that wouldn't happen. And now I'm in the position where, in my head, this next international break has always been the point where it'll change.
Okay.
But that's not off of any educated, intel. That's just me going, surely.
Yeah.
Surely it becomes untenable. Yeah. It is untenable. It's toxic. And you know what? The protests, which we might get onto, that's going to be real nasty on Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk. So Liam Manning post-match. Spoke to the journalists, obviously. Liam Manning asked if he'll walk away from his job and whether there needs to be personnel change. Liam said, I'm sure that there'll be discussions on the back of that. I'll keep fighting. Not seeing much of that. But something has to change internally. What won't change is the group in the changing room. You need a group who are willing to fight. Well, he said that.
So he's hinting. So the pause there is. So there, he's not taking accountability and responsibility. He's pointing upstairs at Ben Napper in that comment, and he's pointing at his group of players as well there, isn't he? Continue on, because there's more.
Manning, people need to step up. We've got some who can, to a point, and then when the pressure hits, they find it difficult. So we've got some that can fight a little bit until they get punched. Yeah. Well, that's not fighting.
Like not defending his players,
Manning on the first goal. I don't know what you can do to affect that as a coach. It was so poor. I don't want to be disrespectful to schoolboys by calling it schoolboy.
At that point, let's not.
I don't know what you can do to affect that as a coach. What? What do you mean?
Sort it out, mate.
What do you mean?
It's on you. You're the coach.
This whole I'm obsessed with turning this round. I'll fight. It's all I know what to do.
I think it's just words.
Bollocks.
I think it's just words, mate.
You've read that in one of those books.
Because it's not backed up in reality.
And I always kind of.
If you're a player,
it's absolute
and you read that
nonsense.
If you're a player, right, and again, I don't know why we talk about, but let's say Oscar Schwartau, right, a 19-year-old guy, right. If you're reading that, you're thinking, well, he's checked out. He doesn't believe in us anymore.
Of course he hasn't. And he was, I think back, and I know it's a bit sort of old school, but Sam Allardyce, he always said that, even if he didn't believe in his players, even if those players didn't necessarily believe in him, he would go out there and take all the heat for them.
Yes.
He would protect them.
Yes.
All the good managers do that, right? And then you throw under the bus.
There's more quotes. Keep them coming. This is from the Pinkham, by the way, via the Pinkham.
Liam Manning on walking straight down the tunnel. It's poor from me. I need to apologise to the fans for that.
Spoken about
part of it was not wanting to antagonise, and part of it was just emotion. It was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Fine, but don't take the apology. Pinkham says on Liam Manning, the goal we conceded is just mad. It is our goal kick. I scratch my head in terms of what you can do to affect that. It's disrespectful to schoolboy football. And then he spoke to Chris Gorham, and the key line was, there's a lot that needs to change. And you know what? And you said it, and you said it to me post match. For me, that was him going, "Please sack me."
Well, look, I think
sack
look,
me.
this is part of our agenda today, Jack. By the way, not our agenda, is in the agenda, the agenda that we write down, the show notes.
Oh, and actually, no, it's my agenda. I want to see people sacked. Obviously, I do.
Okay.
Because we need to see change.
Okay.
Do I want Liam Manning sacked? Yes. Is that my agenda then? Yes, it is.
Okay. So sorry, what was the point there?
Almost like...
Oh yeah, talking. Yeah. So what I said to you, Jack, for the benefit of the audience, is I interpreted those. Look, I might be wrong, but I'm interpreting those post-match comments as put me out of my misery.
I agree.
But of course, and this is a case of, let's be real now, Jack, right? This is a case of when and not if, of course, right?
With the sacking.
With sackings.
The plural.
Got you decide on how many. But the problem is, you're in such a clusterfuck of a situation, excuse my French, because you've got... So Ben is not going to sack Liam quick enough because it puts him in a precarious position himself.
Correct.
Mark doesn't want to sack Ben, but then also Ben's not going to sack Liam, so Mark's going to have to sack Liam. But then he can't do that because of that, and then also he doesn't want to sack Liam because, of course, Liam will need a payout. So here's why he's not. So some Norwich fans are saying he should resign. He's not going to resign, because if he resigns, he ain't getting his dollar.
And it will be a lot.
Right? So he wants to be sacked. At this stage, he will want to be dismissed.
Yeah.
Right? But he's not going to resign. But Mark is in America, and he doesn't want. He's still paying off Johannes.
So
he's not going to want to be paying off Liam Manning for 3 years. Is he?
I think
it's such a shit situation.
I think the payoff thing doesn't even come into it. Like, Atanasio can afford to sack 20 managers.
And I agree.
Right?
And as he said himself, so we're not speaking out of turn. As he said himself on the Canary Call special, he was very nonchalant about the amount of money that he had, because he actually said it with reference to the Nunes sale, didn't he? So theoretically, he shouldn't care that. If he really cares about the football club, he will do it, and he'll make the change, and he'll pay the compo, and he'll bring in a better football manager.
But the issue, and you alluded to it there, it comes back to the structure of the board, the accountability and the governance. Yeah. You've got a load of people that don't want to sack each other because it harms them, and that is a hugely dangerous position. That is where incompetence gets rewarded. That, we're in really dangerous territory now, and I'm, Connor made the point on the Pinkham podcast. Typically, you need 50 points to survive in the Championship. We're on 8 after 13 games. That means we need 42 points from pretty much, less than that. So we need over a point a game. Not only can I not see, I don't know where our next point comes from. And that is a mental thing to say, because the next 2 games are against Sheffield Wednesday, who are still struggling to pay their players, have to play their youth team on certain occasions because their senior players have left, and then Leicester, who are also awful, right? And our previous games have been against Hull, Derby, Bristol City, all poor teams. Swansea, right? I said it in my review. Borough got pumped at the weekend. Coventry got beat. Even the teams at the top are poor.
I know.
And we're going.
So I don't know what. So what are we?
No, I know. Which makes this whole situation just utterly just gloomy, because
so you've brought up the point.
We're in the position where I don't know where the next point is coming from.
Right, so you've brought up the points, right? And Connor and Paddy on the Pinkham have now started to look at the maths and the points per game required to stay in the league. I think Connor had said it's typically 50.
Yeah.
And is it now we need... What is it?
Well, we need 42 points.
No, but what is it per game we need from this point?
It's over a point a game.
It's over a point a game, right? It's a big ask already. So what I am saying at this point is, and I'm now talking to you, Mark, if you do not make big change at your football club, So this is our football club, but it's your football club too. If you don't make big change, either before or during the international break, ahead of the game after that, your football club, our football club, is in League One next season. So if you do not want that, Mark, make the change and hurry up about it, because we are going to lose to Sheffield Wednesday. Look, I hope I'm wrong.
No, we will.
I really hope it would be brilliant. I'd freaking, oh God, I'd love a win right now, right? A dirty, horrible 1-0 win. I think we're going to lose to the next two games.
Yeah, of course we
right?
will.
And you know, and this maybe leads on to the last part of the agenda now, Jack. Actually, is what is destroying my Norwich City soul right now is we are at a situation where protests are happening, where you know, people are starting to rally, people are starting to get organised, and I don't. Did you see what happened after the game? Outside director's entrance. Did you? Well, okay. Well, you might have been behind me then. I think I was ahead of you. We got split up, but I looked around and turned back, and it wasn't just like a small angry, 20 people. There was possibly over 100, roughly, and the moment I thought, okay, this is actually now negligence, and it's really dangerous because the fans aren't being listened to. And I saw a moment where there wasn't enough police and security there, and there was a surge forwards, and those people surged forwards. They kicked the fences, they surged forwards, and they were banging on things. They were really close to the front door, and I thought, actually, this is now a safety risk. And sorry to get on my high horse. Sorry to get my high horse, Jack. But like this is the talking point here, Jack. Right? Is the protests, and it goes back to my previous point. If you don't make that change before the Leicester game, those protests, Mark, are going to be worse. And I'm not sitting here in this stupid yellow chair blaming the supporters for doing that, because the supporters don't feel like they're listened to. The supporters are not getting the change that this football club deserves. The football clubs have been, the fans have been treated with disdain. They're not shown empathy. So I don't blame the supporters for doing that. But you're at the point now, and the club chaplain came out on social media speaking about it after the game, where fans are stopping people leaving the stadium. Like, we've seen this at other clubs. It's a really, really dangerous position to be in. And I'm I'm angry about this, but I'm actually now sad about this as well. Because what we saw after the game, Jack, is players' families being abused. And before someone says, oh, that's not true, Chris, it is true, because I've checked it with at least 10 people who said that they were there. I said, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure, Chris. And so that is despicable. The club hierarchy, which is now, we're pointing at Mark. Are you with me, or am I boring you?
No, I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to just shut my eyes and just take it in.
Because it's nuts, isn't it? Because you are putting the players, the players' families are now getting abused. That is so bad. And please, and if you're one of those people, please look at yourself. Like, feel free to protest for sure. And I get it. But please don't be abusing people that don't deserve. It's awful.
I'll take a slightly different angle. Like, we are approaching a position, and I'm sure it will be the case, where I think Manning will still be in charge against Leicester on Saturday, and that's at home. Families,
and that's bad for Liam Manning.
Families of those players, staff, will be advised not to go.
I hope they don't go.
But look, I see how protests happen. This isn't just a football thing. This is a wider societal issue, right? Of like, if you don't feel listened to, you keep upping the ante. You keep upping the ante until you do finally get listened to. And sometimes the ante has to be up to an extent which goes beyond what's acceptable, right? But people, if they don't feel heard, will go to a position until they do feel heard, and some reaction happens. what happened after the game on Saturday was poor to see. All right, I don't take joy in that.
No.
Seeing those pictures, and like we've
That's my point. This
you know,
is not a
I'm
football
thinking
club.
back to like 20 years ago under Worthy, and
Yeah.
Robert Chase, and I remember it with Dave McNally as well. But like at those points, you did kind of still feel listened to. Like you knew that change was kind of around the corner, and actually, whether it was Worthy out or McNally out or whatever, like it wasn't a big. It was kind of like isolated to one person.
Correct, yeah.
And this is it's a huge issue, and I agree with you. Like we are getting to a point where when decisions aren't being made, it's not just dangerous for what's going on the pitch; it's dangerous for off the pitch.
It's dangerous for everyone.
And decisions not being made is leading to the well-being of players, families, kids. The list goes on.
The fact that young supporters going to the stadium are hearing things that they shouldn't hear.
Yeah, and like that's really shit.
I know, and I'm also saying this from a place of empathy and also respect for Liam Manning as a human. Like I don't know why we're putting him through this. I don't know why we're putting him through this. So to just clarify all of that, because that's quite a on the edge of glory discussion.
Just one final point as well. I feel empathetic actually to the protesters as well. Yes. Because I can see, because I was furious after the game, and I walked around the stadium and I went for a quick pint and then I went home. Yeah. I had to get out of that situation because I knew it wasn't healthy for anyone. And I got home and I filmed that video. I was livid, and I still am livid.
We all are. We're
so
angry.
If you don't know where to place that anger, and thankfully for us, we can chat to a silly camera, and that's some form of therapy, right? And that helps me process the anger I'm feeling towards my football club. But if you don't know where to put that anger, that will let itself out in ugly ways. So actually, to the protesters, it's no different to the change. We're talking it through their show. I empathise with those guys as well because I can see how it happens.
To clarify, as I said, because this is a very sensitive subject, I am not on my high horse saying don't protest. In actual fact, I'm actually probably saying, fair enough. In terms of protesting, I'm just really pleading with people that, think about who you're directing the heat towards, and also think about how you're directing that heat as well. One thing is for sure that we can all agree on is that players' families that are leaving the stadium do not deserve abuse. That is completely unacceptable. So feel free to protest saying you want everyone out or whatever, but please don't abuse people that don't deserve to be abused.
Let's get some questions.
Can I just say, this is not our football club. This isn't our football club. Mark, again, I'm talking to you, Mark. This is not our football club. Trust me. And even, as you say, Jack, back in the Worthy out days, we lost, I think it was 4-0 at home to Burnley.
And Chris, just quick,
go on.
Like, because time flies fast, in my head, Worthy was in charge like 6 years ago. We're talking 20 years ago.
But
and like that's how far you have to go back.
Even back then, fans just wanted the manager gone.
Yeah.
But as you said, Jack, this isn't just like a one problem solve fix thing. So I want you to know, Mark, that this isn't just like the fans are overreacting. This, no, this is the worst it has been in decades.
Yeah, it's certainly in my lifetime.
Honestly, decades.
And I've seen us relegated to League One, and I've seen us in League One, and this feels far worse.
If we do not make big change, either before or during the international break, this football club will be playing League One football next season.
Correct.
And that breaks my heart.
Correct. Chris Whiting says, Rant, what is Mark Attanasio waiting for? He says Liam Manning's record at other clubs is good. What's happened before is absolutely irrelevant. It matters what's happening now. We're in free fall to League One. He needs to do something quick. We're quickly being cut adrift. And that's a key point. Chris. Yes, we are. Who's the team 4 points above us? Right, we're 4 points from safety. That team is Southampton. They have just sacked Will Still. I see a lot of similarities between Will Still and Liam Manning. Good coaches, but maybe not got that element of like, right, we're in a fight. We need to get...
Yeah.
So they've gone, okay, this isn't working. We need to change. Obviously they have.
Obviously,
right?
yes.
Because every single club in this league would do what we're not doing.
But they are not going to do it, Jack, because the ownership are clearly not doing it because they don't want to pay off Liam Manning. And
I disagree with that.
Liam Manning is not going... Okay, so prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because... And he's not going to resign because he won't get his compensation.
I disagree with the payoff thing.
And Ben Napper won't sack him because it puts him in a precarious position.
That's the point. It's not the money point. That's the point. Is we've got a culture and a setup where no one wants to make big calls. That's what we've got.
So, someone, and I won't name them, Jack. Someone said something to me the other day someone said something to me the other day that has a lot of credibility with regards to the football industry. And they said to me, they are marking their own homework. And I thought, do you know what? That is a great way of putting it. The people upstairs at our football club, they are marking their own homework. And Mark is letting them get away with it. He came on Radio Norfolk and he said that he's not going to get the wool pulled over his eyes.
Well, he also said, didn't he, that when you're somewhat naive to football, which that's not disrespectful. He's saying that himself. He knows that his intelligence on football is lacking compared to some others, and you're relying on the opinion of internal staff to make the calls. It's natural. That's then an echo chamber. You're not getting the opinion you need. Yeah. Anyone can see that what we are witnessing is absolute incompetence.
It's failure. It's complete failure. So Falcon has sent something in, Jack, and they've said, I couldn't bring myself to go to Carrow Road yesterday. I listened on the radio. I will always back my team, even when we get relegated, as I did in 08-09, but could not justify the 8 hours on trains. I'm just numb to it all. We need to get back to a chairman, change a manager, not enough, right? So what I want to subtract from this, Jack, is I want to talk about the damage that this is doing to the supporter base, okay? Because if the fans at this stage aren't turning toxic, they're turning off, which is arguably worse for the club, even cynically in terms of finances.
Correct.
Sad state to be in, isn't it?
Yes, and I think that's very real. You only had to look around where we sit. Lots of empty seats, people going, I'd rather go for lunch with my friends or something rather than go and watch this. And particularly, we're in the lucky situation where we're only 20 minutes from the ground. If you're like Falcon and you're travelling in from wherever, of course you wouldn't do it. Of course you wouldn't do it, because the whole point of football, there's a couple of points of football. One being the community aspect. That's, I get to see you and my friends. So that's mainly the reason I go, right?
Thanks, mate.
Point 2 is the unpredictability. Well, that's gone because we know exactly what we're going to be served up. And point 3 is the entertainment. Well, that's gone as well. So the only reason you're going, certainly the only reason I'm going, is to see my mates.
Yeah.
Well, I could do that anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just choosing that Carrow Road is the community centre in which to do that. And it's a fucking expensive community centre to go to. I'm paying £7 a pint. I'm paying 30 quid a match for my season ticket. And I'm being served up that.
And again, let's direct this to the ownership. Let's think about this from their perspective. And I do believe the ownership care, by the way. I do.
No, I do too.
I do. I really do, right? But even if you were to think about this cynically and just assume that all they care about is money, right? Well, this point with the supporters means they are going to start losing money from the bottom line because fans won't come. Fans won't buy their expensive pint in the concourse.
They're handing the pies out for free now.
You can sack off the fan zone. There won't be any fans to fill it with. What about this from the Norwich SAS? I think it's a really interesting point. I think it's an intriguing point, Jack, this one. Stop blaming the people at the top. It's the players that are not performing. Josh has had chances but needs to be dropped. And Jack, I mean, I had to check that this was a Norwich fan, but that's the this is what this situation is creating. People are now looking at players like Sargent and even criticising him. Are the players that bad, Jack?
I think some of them are. I mean, Sargent, we know, is the best striker in the Championship. And this, once again, comes back to the point of a truly cataclysmic coaching performance. Harry Darling has been made to look like a League Two defender, right? Josh Sargent hasn't scored in 8 games. Defenders that were once capable are now completely incapable. That's a coaching problem. That is a huge coaching problem.
But this fan, Jack, is saying stop blaming those people at the top. He's saying it's all on the players.
Oh, that's bollocks. Like, who brought the players in that aren't competent? Ben Napper, and we paid a premium for them, right? The players that were competent and now aren't competent, okay, players need to take a bit of responsibility. That's a coaching thing. To say that Sargent's had chances and missed them, he had 1 chance at the weekend, and yes, he should have scored.
I do agree.
Right?
Yeah,
yes, he should have scored, and he'll know that.
Yeah.
But that's the first good chance he's had in weeks.
I think it's a sad state of affairs.
And our chances are falling to fucking Jeffrey Schlupp, right?
Well,
we've spent £70 million since Mark Atanasio came into this football club, and we have got to the point where we are playing youth players at right back because we don't trust our £6 million winger. We've got Shane Duffy and Jeffrey Schlupp in the team. This is chronic failure. This isn't funny. This really isn't funny because this is huge wastage of resource.
Yeah.
This is wastage of our time and money. Mm-hmm. And we are going to be in a position where, and actually, look, I'm going to say it, right? I've gone from the point of going, League One, like, there's a chance we get relegated, but, I mean, come on, surely, like, something will...
Well,
I think we're down.
Already?
I think we're down.
Already?
Yeah. I don't think it's...
Because I'm in that previous stage where I'm telling myself, I'll be honest with you, lies.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm telling myself lies that it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. They'll make change before the international break or during the international break. We'll go on. It will be okay. But it's just self-talk. Look, it's not reality.
I've been there and I've gone something will click. Something. Okay, so let's look at this logically. Are these players good enough? I think they're good enough to stay up, but it was interesting that Manning was like, I don't think they're good enough to go miles clear. I don't trust Ben Napper in the January transfer window. The January transfer window is historically really difficult to get good players at good really value for. Yeah. And we need to go at a point a game from now on. I just don't see it. And the teams we're in and up against it in the relegation battle. Okay, let's assume that Sheffield Wednesday go down, so there's 2 more slots.
And they're all beating us. What about this?
You've got Sheffield United, you've got Southampton, you've got the likes of like Pompey, Oxford, who know how to survive,
and we don't, because we don't even know how to. Well, anyway, Kieran, let's. Kieran has sent in a motivational brackets desperation quote. Even the darkest nights end with a sunrise. I hope that helps, boys, as it did for me for about 30 seconds. We will be back. Do you think the sun will rise this season, Jack?
Oh, this season? No, I don't think it will.
So that's the point, Kieran.
I think
we need the sun to rise. We need the sun to rise sooner rather than later.
I think we are in a position where the clocks have just changed, and we've got a long winter ahead of us, and those mornings perma-gloom, right? It's constantly gloomy. The sun, the sky doesn't clear, and at some point, maybe next winter it does, but at this stage it doesn't clear, right? And let's stop kidding ourselves that it will, right? Will we see change? I actually don't know at this point. I don't know. I've got nothing to cling on to. So, will the sun rise this season? No, I don't think it will. I think it's going to be permanently gloomy.
Paul Clinch sends a picture saying we're doomed.
Can we just pick up on a point before I forget, Chris?
Okay. Cool.
I want some context around your tweet at the weekend, right? Around Ben Kensel being in attendance, and so if people haven't seen, let me bring the tweet up, which I shared. The tweet said. Let me find it. God, you tweet a lot, don't you? Ben Kensell is open to rejoining Norwich City as CEO. Kensell is close with Kieran Scott, Middlesbrough, of course, formerly of Norwich City, so would look to appoint him as the sporting director. The duo feel with their experience, they could turn Norwich City around. Now, Ben Kensell was in attendance. He is back in Norfolk.
Yeah.
I think one of his kids plays for the academy, I think. So
family here, yeah.
the fact that he was at Carrow Road isn't really news, right? He was the guest of Delia Smith and Michael Wynne-Jones. But your tweet infers that maybe there is something deeper to this. So just interested in the context.
Well, I should probably add some context and colour to it, Jack. And same with the Russell Martin one as well. I received intel over the past week that those parties would be open to a return to Carrow Road, and that's obviously a story of interest to Norwich City supporters, given that both of those, all of those people, in fact, were previously at Norwich City. Ben Kensell was a guest of Delia and Michael at the weekend, as you say, Jack.
Who's now working at Luton Town.
Yeah, working at Luton Town. I think it was probably just a coincidence that he was there at that point. I believe it to be a coincidence. I've seen a few theories being kind of thrown about online off the back of that post that I shared around, they're talking to Ben. They're not. As I understand it right now, they're not. But what I do know is that those parties, Kensell, Scott, Martin, if approached, and obviously, given what they need to be given, they will work for Norwich City Football Club.
And that in itself is news, because so often when Norwich are in this position, you hear, well, why would you want to join Norwich? There are people, good people, who would work here.
So this is my point, Jack. Right, and I ruffled a few feathers by sharing. Those posts.
You ruffled? No,
coming from you, blimey. But I shared that. I shared those because it is valuable, valid intel, information, news based upon stuff that I've been told. And I'm really thinking right now, Jack, that I've got this sort of sad feeling that Norwich fans think that, we're already done. We're already dead and buried. There's no hope. Who would want to come to Norwich in this state? Trust me, there are some good, qualified, highly commended, highly respected individuals within the football industry. Not people that have been through the Peter what was it?
Peter Principle.
The Peter Principle that we spoke about in previous episodes, that want to come to Norwich City Football Club. So that's the reason why I shared that information. Now, am I saying I want that to happen? No, I'm not.
I am.
Am I? No. But the point is, I think people are thinking like, I've done it because I want that person or that. All I'm saying is, this is the information I've been told. I'm going to share this because it's valid and valuable for the Norwich fans to know that there are people out there that, if approached, would join our football club.
But the key point, and maybe what people inferred, is that, and you didn't put this, but you can infer the point, they've not been approached as of yet.
Correct. And that is important to say. And maybe I should have followed up with that. But I thought the way I worded it made it clear enough, but clearly it didn't.
Look, that once again, thank you for your questions. I do genuinely read them all because it's nice to share.
Pain.
Sometimes when you think these things, you think you're going mental and you're the only one. No, you do. No. Right, you do. And I sit down pretty much daily at the moment, and also thank you for all of the recent support on these videos. And the only reason I'm making the videos this much,
to help yourself through it.
Partly.
Yeah.
But I'm desperate for change.
I know, mate.
I'm trying to do my bit, right?
We want our club. We want the club back. We want our club back because this is not Norwich City Football Club.
And we're in some of the group chats, right, with fellow opposition fans, right, Leeds fans, Burnley fans, whoever, and they're messaging us, and this is when this is the real kicker for me. And they message us and go, "How is Manning still not being sacked? How is Ben Napper still there?" And I don't know how to answer it.
Well,
and we are in a position we're in a position, right? And this is the making of those at Norwich City. And actually, you know, so many Ipswich fans tweeted me at the weekend. And Ipswich fans that I'm friends with, that I play football with, whoever, right? Laughing. Marcelino Nunez brace at the weekend. 2 brilliant free kicks. You know what? Fair fucks. We did that. We didn't have to sell him to you. But we did. We chose to, right? And that has given them the ammo to fire at us. And that's on Ben Napper.
Yeah.
That's on Ben Napper.
And Liam Manning, by the way.
And Liam Manning.
Yeah.
You have given them the ammo, not just Ipswich fans, but other opposition fans. I saw Hull City fans, right? Dressed up as clowns for Halloween. The caption being, we're dressed up as Norwich City's defensive line. We are getting laughed at by Hull fans.
Wet Wipe FC.
Hull fans.
Wet Wipe FC.
I don't know what else to say. And when those at the football club, and I know I'm off the Christmas card list, I'm disrespected by what you're saying.
We are.
You know what? I'm fucking more disrespected than you are. I am sick and tired of what I'm seeing. Sick and tired of it. So I will keep disrespecting those at the football club until something gets done. And I don't want a Christmas card. I don't want a Christmas card. I'm done.
Couple of things, Jack.
I'm done.
Couple of things to say at this point. If you've watched up until this point of the TNC podcast, use the hashtag change needed now. Hashtag change needed now, and I will share all of them as a thanks for your support. Are you okay?
You know what? I've just remembered something. We're doing a fucking watch along on Wednesday.
Hang on, we'll talk about that. And half says rave. We've got a rave this week, Jack.
Go on.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Email club cancelled my renewal. I'm now getting an extra £50 a month and free up my Saturday afternoons.
Good for you.
Any more questions, Jack?
No.
I mean, okay, fine.
I'm
But
done.
what we should say at this point is we really are grateful for your contributions. We are listening to you. We are reading them. We're trying to respond to as many as possible. We hear you. And this is a nice point to say, we are doing a TNC watch along on Wednesday.
And actually I am looking forward to it.
And people are going to be like, well, we're not winning anymore. But we know that we're not winning on Wednesday night. But what we will say is, join the pain train with us, right? You're going to feel frustrated. Your uncle's feeling frustrated.
I didn't fart. That was my watch strap. My trousers. You thought
Honestly thought you
it was my watch strap on my trousers.
I thought, holy shit, you've just farted. That shows how literally shit scared for Wednesday.
Yeah.
And, join the pain train with us on Wednesday night. TNC watch along.
Yeah.
And we're going to respond to that. That's the great thing about that.
Oh yeah, no filter.
We'll respond to absolutely anyone and everyone on Wednesday.
No filter.
Get it all in. Join in the pain train, and we'll consume that together.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.